It don't mean a thing if it ain't got the swing. It don't mean a thing.
Mid-Atlantic section has been a steady presence and a source of strength for tennis in our section for 100 years.
And there's been a constant commitment to making sure that tennis is ever present in our lives and is available to all of us to play.
From the founding of the American Tennis Association to 100 courts being built in the city of Baltimore, we could not have been successful for 100 years without the people that came before us.
My family, dating back to 1912 when Granddad played at the United States Men's Singles National Championship in Newport Casino against a defending champion, born in Annapolis, Maryland, through my father, Fred McNair III, born in Annapolis, Maryland. Dad was Middle Atlantic Junior Champion in 1938, 6 times Middle Atlantic Doubles Champion, Middle Atlantic Men's Singles Champion in 1956, played 4 U.S. National Championships, passed the baton to his oldest son, that would be me. And throughout my adult years, after having been a member of the United States Championship winning Davis Cup team 45 years ago with Arthur Ashe, thank you, Middle Atlantic Tennis Association.
My grandfather, Dr. Robert Walter Whirlwind Johnson, relocated to Lynchburg in 1933. He went on to build a tennis court in his backyard where he coached and developed young African American players, who later went on to play in the American Tennis Association, more commonly known the ATA. Some of the more notable players at Dr. J's camp were Althea Gibson and Arthur Ashe. Althea, as many of you know, was the first African American female and first African American to win the U.S. Open and Wimbledon. Arthur spent many summers in Lynchburg with Dr. J, and that made a huge impact on his future.
The Mid-Atlantic was a wonderful place to be a woman in tennis during my time. The Mid-Atlantic Tennis Association was ready and willing to help and promote women in any way they could.
Obviously, we've got Arthur, his legacy there in Richmond, and Koger in Baltimore, one of the first black women to play on the WTA Tour. We got great pros like Richie Rendenberg and Pam Shriver, and then more recently, Dennis Kudla and Francis.
And there's a whole lot of people, all walks of life, in our region that have helped them get there.
Diversity and inclusion is a strategic priority for the USTA, and Mid-Atlantic's leading the way in many areas there. And I think we've got a great opportunity to finally make the sport look like America.
It's brought communities together and people from different backgrounds. You know, it's a real melting pot of diversity.
Tennis is for everyone, and we want to give that opportunity to kids that don't have it. Girls Rule the Court is a perfect example.
Girls Rule the Court has been a great program for students to be able to experience tennis, learn a little bit more about themselves, about social emotional activities.
The USTA Mid-Atlantic Foundation has had a successful 100-year run, thanks largely to the collection of dedicated, talented, and passionate volunteers.
It's absolutely amazing that we have so many USTA leagues and so many tournaments and so many pro events. The Mid-Atlantic has just been a fantastic place for tennis for the last 100 years.
Success of that type that's so sustainable and has always trended upwards always speaks to the people. You know, do you have a shared vision? Do you have shared values? If you have those two things, then you can change your culture.
Really is that opportunity to think about what's next and how do we make things better, and we can do it.
We're doing as much as we can, and I cannot wait to see the path that tennis goes in our section for the next 100 years.